Dun dun dun.
I think the biggest problem is that I think against drafting against like OG's lineup is that they're both their supports play really well. Like Crit is really versatile, and probably the most annoying thing, and probably the thing I've been most impressed with OG is just how quickly No-Tail's been able to transition to the core position. Like, I'll be the first person to say I really doubted that he'd be able to go from playing support for like 2 years to just playing a core, and that's why I like constantly underrated OG. But the more that you watch this guy and how his team is able to draft around him, the fact that he can just play like 10 different heroes that they can bust out at any moment. You know, he can switch from playing the Meepo to playing like the SF when Miracle has to play like the Huskar is really impressive to me. And then he plays the Beastmaster and he just completely switches to the Jug or the PL. Like
there seems to be just enough little overlap between No-Tail and Miracle that they can cover, you know, some of the special scenarios like No-Tail playing the SF. But I think like if you want to compare them to EG, for example, where there's a lot of overlap between their 1 and 2, I think OG are in a much better position where they just have these wealth of heroes between their 2 cores that if one doesn't play, the other does.
Okay, so we were right, or I was anyways, about Team Liquid's drafts with Doom. You can't give up the... There's like no way that you can give up the Doom. Not against Moon. But that's like relatively easy. That's why I thought the first pick would be more contested by Liquid. But then OG has to decide, do we take SF here or Tusk? But it's going to be SF, right? And then Team Liquid then have to take Tusk +1. Tusk Gyro, yeah. And then that means OG take Dazzle. Like,
Dazzle
or Jug.
Dazzle or Bane.
I think Dazzle or Jug, actually. Maybe Bane.
Jug's been the counter, but they can always just save it for later. You know, the Husk, Meepo, all these different things they could do with depending on what their next support is.
I think you have to take Dazzle now. Otherwise, because then you can force a Huskar ban.
Yeah, force the Huskar ban, and like Ancient Apparition and Jug are both going to be like you can't ban all.
But you need Jug. You might need Jug for yourself, as we've been seeing throughout the tournament. It is a really good counter to Gyrocopter, but at the same time, if it's also against a Tusk. So.
Oh, it's like, nah. The only thing I didn't know was going to happen with the simulation was the Winter Wyvern ban, to be honest. But so far, so good. That means you have to ban AA, and then OG have to ban, or Liquid probably take out the Jug. I think the Jug is so good with the SF and the Dazzle too. Yeah. You can just push down.
5 seconds remaining.
So, Team Liquid ban Jug Undying, OG ban obviously the Ancient Apparition because that's that's right. You have to ban the Huskar. Yeah, there's just too many heroes.
We said Huskar
this is
earlier.
So funny.
It's
you
fine.
can just see
it's
what's
fine.
going. You just know what's going to happen.
We're all good.
There's just too many heroes for Liquid to ban at this point.
Don't worry, guys.
I think so for everyone.
10 seconds
Undying. I like the Undying ban here for OG unless they're going to pick it up for themselves. The Tusk plus Undying can be very brutal.
OG Dota. Okay, so then Team Liquid ban the Jug. Yeah, that's what we expect.
We're all going to be 100% right.
But this is what you have to do as a captain. Like, you can tell that Crow's already been through the same process.
Yep.
If you want to know what a pro team does, it's just you draft against somebody, they pretend to be the other team. You know what their hero pool's like, then you just do this over and over again until you kind of get the ideal situation.
Until you essentially break the code where you know whether first pick or second pick or what side is more favorable to you.
Yeah. So this is what I just did last night. I was just watching replays and trying to do this in my head. And it's hard because obviously I have no insight into their team mechanics, so I just have to do it by like base drafts, but
yeah, then we're just gonna get like an Elder Titan or a Phoenix out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Where you can never predict that.
Liquid's real hard to Liquid's real hard to do this for. Like for OG it was a lot easier.
Yep.
Because you know the heroes that they're amazing at. And then
we watched them go through the majors. Team Liquid haven't had the same kind of showing.
So good.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Only if you lose maybe the first game, you can change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think then you can maybe just try something else. But they're just so stable. Even if I don't even think they're going to get stomped. It's going to be, if they lose, it's going to be a very close game. So even if something goes wrong, I don't think it's going to be from a drafting perspective, unless we see, this Razor absolutely dominate the Shadow Fiend, in which case then yeah. But I think it'll be fine. You're going to have the Dazzle behind you. You have the raises to really help you out
10
in this
seconds
situation, but
remaining.
we'll have to see how aggressive they get.
You get the Bane here for OG.
5 seconds
I mean, because
remaining.
you're going to need to help out the SF, most likely against Razor. You'll need a support that sits mid and stacks, and also make sure that the Razor just doesn't run over the SF. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I were OG,
Probably still Jug. What do you think about a Brood in this game? Is it good enough? Do you think they can put off enough pressure?
I don't think you can pick it right now.
No.
I think there's enough open right for Meander that works out. Like the Earthshaker's still really strong.
Slardar.
I'm not really a fan of
is still
the
in the pool.
Earthshaker against Gyro, but they make it work. Like that's the biggest thing too. When they pick up Earthshaker, they do it a lot of times against the Gyro, and he still finds levels against the hero that can just easily zone him out. So
Shadow Shaman's somewhat of a surprise. It struggles against the Razor pretty hard since all three of your abilities are target. And you already have absolute terrible move speed.
But if they have a strong laning phase carry on the side of OG, just the Shadow Shaman can be enough to zone out the offlaner, and maybe Dazzle can help
5
with the mid.
seconds remaining.
I
Not
actually,
the best at it, but
I kind of want to see
Reserve time.
I sort of want to see Bane for Liquid. I'm trying to think.
I mean, Bane plus Static Link. This hero is just really amazing all around. You can just set up so many things. Call down, or Rocket Barrage. Make.
Unusual. Vegetables.
yeah.
Bane is like.
I mean, this has just been the flavor of the month picks. I mean, you could still even see like Hiroki Rubik here too, and it'd be still a great hero all around. You can steal the wards. You can still help maybe zone out mid lane, but Bane is just filling that role in a better way, and then you always have that Fiend's Grip to fall back on. So.
Queen of.
All right, saving their support for last.
Radiant team pick.
So we have yeah. Oh.
I think that might actually be more likely.
Because
then,
you have a Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, and then it forces the Razor into a one-on-one with
Just good
SF,
Juggernaut
which will
then
win.
in this situation, I think.
Yeah, I think you do take Jug here. I think Jug's good against Razor and Gyro.
Yeah.
If you know it's going to be a Jug defensive
10
tri lane,
seconds remaining.
so you put Razor in the aggro, and then put Queen of Pain mid and Gyro top.
5
You still would probably
No,
put Queen of Pain bottom because they don't have any. I guess if they get the shackle off in the spin, but you should still be able to survive.
Yeah, probably.
I think Gyro's better in the tri-lane. And then Queen of Pain's better in the one-on-one.
Yeah.
It just... Yeah. That means OG...
It'll be a lot of trade-offs, but they have
That means
Grave.
TL is... Oh, man.
Team
That means TL is gonna hope that OG
Ooh.
goes for the Earthshaker, and we've seen the problem with this hero when it fell off for a little bit, was that the one-on-one matchups are pretty hard for this hero.
What if they could even put like Queen of Pain
10
mid, Razor
seconds
top,
remaining.
and then potentially they could lose all their lanes for OG if they do go aggressive.
I think Razor, though, is more stable against the SF.
But yeah, it is. Sometimes you have to worry about the ganks coming in though. Like if it's standard lanes, then maybe we will see Moon come in with the Earthshaker Fissure, help out against that, and then maybe you'll have like a Shackle or
Yeah,
something.
but if you put, no matter who you put mid, then you die. I think if you put the Queen of
True.
Pain in the safe lane, and you put Razor mid, Dazzle and Shadow Shaman are terrible at roaming on him anyways, because you can't smoke gank without boots on Shadow Shaman anyways, if the Razor plays correctly.
And Team Liquid here, they know it has to be
Well-
some sort of strong laning phase hero for OG. They ban away the Brewmaster rather than the Jug.
Fada's going to be playing really aggressive though, so we have to assume that if he's too aggressive, then he can get burned, like we've been talking about earlier. But if he's calculated, sees the supports off the map, then it should be fine.
They think Quap's support.
Yeah, they thought it was a Quap support a la Alliance.
Okay.
This was going to be my suggested hero, but then they picked like they did. But I think the silencer makes a lot of sense if you're struggling so much against like the Dazzle, for example. There's nothing that the Dazzle can do during that time period. It does make your laning and your ganking a little bit weird. And your team fight is a lot more timing based than you would probably like.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, OG is going to lose a team fight, and then they kind of have to immediately go and get something while the silencer ulti is down. And this is just a really good PL ban now that you come see that, hey, the silencer's gone. We kind of need to have this PL Manta Diffusal to really help it out. So really good ban out there, last for their side, or second to last there from Team Liquid. Surprised about the Brew ban. I guess they could still put it safe lane, but I mean, now that you have silencer though, anti-mage.
So,
AM plus Shadow Fiend on the same time. Is that too much farm, guys? Too much farm time needed?
It's okay. It eats the rest of the heroes in the late game. And if you look at TL's lineup, once AM gets Manta, there's actually almost nothing that'll kill him. Like, I think unless Queen of Pain goes for a Hex.
But their laning stage is completely weak now. Like, if you have a one-on-one mid, Queen of Pain can easily win that. Razor can easily win that. Top lane, one-on-one ES versus any of these two heroes, they can lose. And then if you have the Shadow Shaman, Dazzle, and an Anti-Mage, like, these are the most greedy picks and lanes coming in from OG, so Liquid have to punish them early.
Fortunately, Earthshaker's one of those few offlaners that can rotate pre-level 6, so at least you have... I think that's what they're going to need to do on the side of OG if they really feel contested in lanes, is move Moon around really early on. To
Maybe dodge, too. They really might need to just dodge and put the AM somewhere safe.
To do, because we are now heading into the game.
Will do, Stoey. Blitz, we're here in our game number 1 of this best of 5 between OG and Team Liquid. In fact, we already have a little bit of early movement here from Team Liquid. Jerix is going to start off with a TP into the middle lane and throws down an early aggressive ward. This means that Team Liquid can actually contest that top rune since they do have that uphill vision now. Yeah. Maybe even go for an early first blood.
It was a good play. It makes it so that if they're waiting on top of this, and you want to contest if you're TL, right? Like 100%, you want to be the ones to take this fight. Like, I don't think there's any reason not to. But especially when you've got the type of heroes that you have, like Tusk plus Gyrocopter, yeah, you're 100% going to take that fight.
Yeah. I think there was a potential like Ice Shards play, you know, from the where Jerix is sitting. You could potentially like block them off if they show up on that uphill pair.
No, that's a really cool move. I like that TP because oftentimes what you'll end up seeing is the offlaner TPs and then the support TPs to match. But by doing it in the mid lane, the speed at which they did it at, there's almost no way that you expect the ward to be there.
Yeah.
It was a cool little trick.
But OG are not going to be going for that top rune. Instead, they go bottom, but they're going to be met by Liquid already. And Liquid are actually going to get both the bounty runes. Liquid, they've done their homework.
They super did their homework.
Yep.
This was really intelligent. They feint top, then they leave their gyro top where one of the supports can see him in full vision, and then they rotate all 4 heroes down, knowing that OG won't be prepared to fight against that.
Worth the loss of a rune ward? For double bounty runes?
Yeah, I think so.
Because Fly immediately snips that one out, knowing what happened. So we are going to have a dual lane scenario. We were talking about this during the draft, that Tusk is very likely to go mid to help out the Razor, and Dazzle is going to be left as the support to help out the SF, just due to the fact that Shadow Shaman really can't occupy that space. Kuro is going to be bottom lane with Mind Control, so he's going to be trying to zone out the Animage and keep him from farming as much as possible, which means we have a pretty favorable matchup for Matumba Man at this top lane against Moon's Earthshaker.
Yeah, we knew that they would go for some sort of aggressive play once they picked the 3 cores like they did. Like, Liquid's cores are semi-greedy picking like that, because the Queen of Pain can just as easily go terribly wrong and then fall super far behind, be underleveled, and get bursted by any sort of disable. And so this kind of has to work out for them. Whereas for OG, I mean, the laning phase is already paying off for them. Their SF is already up to 8 last hits. I believe that's perfect.
Yeah, not being... I've already seen Fana miss at least one static link, where it's just like he threw it out and it was instantly cancelled, so hasn't really been able to truly zone out the SF like he normally would expect.
It's okay, though. This is a lane that the Shadow Fiend is going to do okay once he's got level 3 in anyways, and the Dazzle just helps to secure that. This is something that they're going to have to expect.
Miracle just going to be forced to blink away time and time again every single time that last word is placed on him, because if he lets the silence go through, then he'll just be jumped by the Queen of Pain and possibly be our first blood. The bottom lane, Snowball goes laid out, and he will be able to get the bounty run and try to body block up Crit.
Oh,
In fact,
Jerax,
he's doing it
you're so
beautifully.
godlike.
Jerax, he's sitting in front of poor Crit with such a low movement speed too. They'll catch up with Mind Control, and this will be the first blood of the tournament. Crit, they're trying to turn it on Mind Control. Oh, it's Mind Control that goes down first. A beautiful Shallow Grave comes in from Fly at the perfect time. This is why teams have banned away the Dazzle against OG in the past. Fly just seems to have a sixth sense about where to be moving as that Dazzle.
And you see the new damage for the Shackles on Shadow Shaman immediately pay off there. And that was probably one of the better body blocks I've actually seen, because he was able to do it the micro way too, like the little inches forward. That was pretty fantastic, but still, that is a pretty miserable situation when you have 2 heroes and you devote your core to being down there, and you don't even get the first blood. Like, Mind Control gave up a lot of the control, helped the AM finally get to some last hits.
They do have stacks already going through. Both the stacks being tripled now at the 3-minute mark. Crit's going to try and get a pull through, but not surprising that Liquid are there to counteract it. Mind Control just pull the wave off of the neutrals and bring it back to normalcy.
The scary thing right now is how much Moon's been getting off the offlane right now. He's already level 3, almost level 4. He's even going to pull this next wave into these creeps. Like, he's done a pretty good job so far of getting experience out of a lane that he should be struggling a little bit more with.
Yeah. I mean, this is part of the Dire side advantage, right? If it was, or the Radiant side for offlane. If he was Dire side offlane against solo against a Gyrocopter, he just wouldn't have any real chances to make a pull like that and upset the lane to his favor.
This is all expected though, right? Because we knew that the Earthshaker was going to get a little bit more out of this offlane by virtue of going for the aggressive lanes that they did.
Yep.
And funny enough for OG, their AM is going to suffer just because the Dazzle has been stacking mid, and Fada's going to win the lane anyways when it comes to CS.
Jerax will take the bounty rune. Looks like he was thinking about saving it for somebody, but Fada already has a haste rune, which we may see that come into play if Jerax rotates at the right time to mid. Maybe they could catch somebody out. Miracle's actually just so desperate for farm at this point that he's going to try and make a neat little trick here. He actually puts himself on the trees, cuts down one, and this is something we've seen in the past where hero has to jungle early on. He'll create a funnel like this.
Yeah. It'd be really funny if Jax could have actually caught the SF with all those creeps there. He's got vision of it. If No-Tail's not careful.
Oh, with the right ice shards.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for it.
Make him take some damage. He'll come in. He knows Fada has the haste rune too, so they're going to be able to run down No-Tail really easily
the
here.
Dazzle's not on the right end.
That's going to be a second kill. Dazzle can't get there in time, and Team Liquid pick up a second kill of the game.
That was really well played by Jerax. He goes all the way around to go for the ward, and once he has that ward down, he knows that he'll be in range for Snowball plus the others. Plus the ice shards. Just good overall play.
They may still go for the dive here, Fly. He's going to be caught. All he has is the Shell Grave and a TP out, but the Snowball, it's there. That'll stop the TP, and yet another kill going to Liquid. A great start for Liquid here in this game one. Jerax, not hit by that race, will be able to survive as No-Tail, frustrated by this early pressure, is going to be forced to, usually fall back on those stacks, but that's already seems to be counteracted by Liquid.
And he got most of the stacks already before they came, luckily, but he lost the big one, and most importantly, he died. And on top of that, they lose the support there too.
And half the experience too. Whoa, Shadow Shaman ends up getting mind control at the bottom lane. Miracle not even level 6, but it works out anyway. Matumba Man's going to try and chase down Crit. Will be able to clip him. Oh, doesn't
Crit
actually hit him with the ultimate. Crit dodges that. Now it has the creep wave to soak up the rocket barrage, but it's just too much damage too quickly from Matumba Man.
Good rotation by Matumba Man. Getting something out of that. That could have just been a kill and gotten out, but that's a Queen of Pain that goes down. That's twice now, and this core is kind of looking like it's going to be a little bit difficult to play, but this is something that we expect. The Queen of Pain oftentimes can just fall far behind when she's playing the offlane role.
Quick blink away, and now a TP in from Crit. They're trying to change up the lanes to give Miracle some kind of farm. He only has 19 CS so far. Not bad, given the pressure that he was feeling early, but certainly not what Miracle wants to be at. Fada is going to be caught now by, oh, nice snowball play. That actually is going to go straight to the creep wave. Moon knows it too. He tried to put himself for an Echo Slam, but unfortunately his own Fisher was still blocking him out. Ice Shards, not quite there, but Fly was here anyway. 4 heroes at the top lane just to try and help out that fight, which means Liquid are free to do whatever they want at the bottom lane.
And this is really important for Liquid, getting control of the safe lane area, because now it's going to be even harder for OG to go for counter aggression of their own, because No-Tail's further behind than he wants to be, so he's going to focus on farming, and the rest of his team have to back up this anti-mage, but by getting rid of this bottom tower, tier 1, it means that you can invade into the jungle quite easily, and they've got the heroes to kill him too. Like, once the silencer hits level 6, they can pretty much just make excursions into the jungle. That means the mid-tier 1 tower should be the next goal for Team Liquid, but that probably doesn't come until you get a few more items on your team.
They're still sitting behind Miracle. Moon is just spending his time alongside Fly, babysitting their carry. He almost has his level 6, which means they might be able to get a kill sometime, but Matumba Man is like a roaming Night Stalker now. Level 8, he's going to go for the hunt onto No-Tail. They have the vision up him too. He's going to catch him full on with the ultimate. That's going to double slow No-Tail. And Matumba Man claims the kill just like that. Fly TP's in, but again, just too late to save his carry.
And again, this is all just set up by the fact that they were able to get control of the jungle so early on. Yeah. They took the tier 1. They have been slowing down No-Tail so much that he can't really go in 5-man pressure with the rest of his team. So what ends up happening is you lose control of your own jungle, and then you see Liquid just go for the tier 1 tower mid. This is the next lane that you want to put pressure on, and it makes it so that the SF is forced into a position where he more or less has to come with the rest of his team or play really greedy.
And middle lane, they're going to dive behind the tower to catch Fly. He's got a Shell Grave, but this time around, no TP, even when there wasn't a disable to stop him. So Fly will be going down. It looks like they'll take control of this middle tower. So as you were talking about, invasion into the Radiant jungle, this is one of the most common plays in 6.85. And when you take down the safe lane tier 1 as well as the mid tier 1, that just cracks that whole entire jungle area wide open.
Yeah, this is really significant that they were able to do it at the 9-minute mark too. It might not seem like a whole lot, but look at how underfarmed Miracle is, and then your SF has already gotten far behind. Where are you exactly meant to go? Like, all your stacks are kind of in danger now, and Matumba Man's just going to run into crit right here.
Yeah, he's got a double damage on mind control. They throw out this global silence and now catch him with the ultimate of this sonic wave. Matumba Man's going to be able to run down No-Tail as well. That's going to be 2 free kills. Well, Fisher gets laid out, buys a little bit of time with the Shallow Grave. There is going to be a Shadow Strike, but Fly still has the heal, and No-Tail will be able to survive through that tick damage.
Yeah, and that could have been even worse for them. I think that Mind Control hesitated a little bit too much there. Maybe he was afraid of getting double raised and killed. You usually can go for that play if you have Strength Treads, just because the Queen of Pain can outplay the SF by Strength Treading, but without them, you could tell that he was a little bit hesitant, because he had the mana for both the Scream, I believe. On top of that, yeah, he's been blinking back to base and he still has mana for Scream, so I think that was just more a case of, I don't want to just get blown up by the SF and give him some recovery gold.
Right. But even in that situation where Liquid do lose out on a potential kill, they still claimed a pick-off on the Shadow Shaman. And they still got really good control of these lanes. All the meanwhile, Razor was pushing in that top lane. Oh, Fly. Denies the bounty rune away from Mind Control. But I like the way that Liquid are swapping this around with Matumba Man, you're roaming into the enemy jungle, solo as the Gyrocopter. This is freed up space for the Queen of Pain to actually get a decent amount of farm, whether it's mid, bottom, top. They just seem to be spreading their golden experience really well.
Yeah, the Shadow Fiend is just about to finish his treads right now, and the lead continues for Team Liquid. It's already climbed to about 6,000. No-Tail absolutely can't afford to die here. He's got backup, but
the ultimate's going to be able to land on 2 of these heroes, and Crit is going to be the target. Can they finish him off? Yeah, the TP not even close to competing. The homing missile still going to be able to hit No-Tail. Mind Control has a blink up in 1 second. He can actually finish off No-Tail. No Shallow Grave available, as Fly is not around. Moon hit by the Shadow Strike. Mind Control just trying to buy himself time. They are going to go for the snowball play. They've got the Walrus Punch to finish him off too. And now the other 2 members of OG, they're only just now straggling into this fight, but it's already over.
The amount of pressure that Liquid are putting on, it's so calculated. It's really intelligent the way that they set everything
Fly,
up.
He's going to be hit by that one. Has the Shallow Grave, but again, Liquid, They just seem one step ahead of OG. Fly's going to be taken out eventually here. Jerix, he may go down. Nope, he's got enough Magic Wand charges to keep himself alive. Even when they're diving into almost tier 3 towers, Liquid still managed to keep a near perfect score.
Most importantly, during this entire time, Fada just continues to farm and push out for himself as well. They managed to take out the tier 1 tower top at the same time. Like, they're pretty much everywhere right now. There's no time for OG to recover. And this is usually what we see them do. And now you're starting to see why Liquid chose the dire side. They've just taken so much control of the enemy jungle. I mean, things look really grim right now for OG. Like, the way back into this game is your anti-mage, but they've made a dedicated effort to pretty much just zone him out of everywhere.
It'll be a long time coming until that Animage actually gets the farm. As you said, once he has Manta, right, and can get rid of that silence, that's going to be really when Animage can start farming a bit more freely. But
they're pinging for top.
Yeah, they're going to try for it here. Crit, oh, the global silence comes in. Crit thought he was going to be able to get off a disable, but instead he's going to die, as they don't even worry about him. Fada turns around and gets that last hit. They're hoping to be able to get more, as Jerix was trying to hunt down Moon, but OG already made their retreat. Kuro has been sitting down in this bottom lane for such a long time, though. He's been farming away. Almost looks like he may consider a Midas with the amount of gold that he's holding into the bank right now.
He's just passively sitting down there, challenging them. Nobody's coming down, though, because they were afraid of the rotations. They don't have any ward vision of their own jungle. Like, this is the best ward that they could get down, but you notice that Liquid has been placing sentries with their wards. So he's got no idea if they just TP to that bottom tower.
Jerix, that wasn't the fight he wanted to run into. Trying to scout things out, but happens to run into all 5 of OG in their jungle. Still information, though. Liquid know that OG are so damn scared in this game, as they should be, that they feel the need to group up as 4 or 5 constantly.
That's the comeback mechanic, Cap. Just take like 8 more of those. You'll be okay.
And we'll see. Liquid, they just need to keep control right now. Roshan, of course, is a possibility as time goes on, but they don't have a great Roche-taking team. Especially as it seems no medallion being built by the Tusk.
Do they really need to at this point? We haven't even talked about it, but at just 13 short minutes into this game, the gold lead is 10. That's gross.
Jesus.
That's not an insignificant mark. That's something that you expect at like the 20-25 minute mark where you're already behind.
Yeah, Silencer is about to outdo both the Animage and SF and farm as this game continues in its current trajectory.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So far, Liquid, they're getting control of everywhere. What I really like, too, is that their heroes are really split around the map cap. Oftentimes, what ends up happening when you're a less experienced team is you decide that you're going to 5-man to not throw away your advantage, and you play like the absolute safest way. But what this allows is 1 or 2 heroes from OG to kind of sneak in some farm.
Yeah.
And then you catch up in levels at the same time, right? But by splitting up so much and playing a little bit like slightly riskier, they're keeping up in levels and just continuing to get ahead in experience. Like, oftentimes you'll see in this kind of position when you're this far ahead, people just 5-man, then the AM gets his Battle Fury 1-1 fight, swings things around. But Liquid are just kind of firing on all cylinders here.
Part of this is the a couple things, right?
Why is even going to get caught?
Wait, what? There is this one little copse in the trees where you can't see unless you go directly up, and Fada doesn't scout him, but they do catch Moon. Jerix managed to catch him in the ice shards, Walrus punch up, and now Fada will run down Moon pretty much with ease. Miracle coming in, but he's got no real response. Just his ultimate, that wouldn't even come close. But going back to what you were saying, I think there's a couple things, right? The fact that they managed to keep up every single one of their tier 1 towers, so there's always going to be some sort of response as long as they keep in decent range of their tier 1s. And then also the fact that they've got a silencer, right? I mean, if there's some sort of play by OG where they, you know, maybe catch the gyrocopter in the bottom lane or something, there's
what's going on?
Silence. Snowball? Nope. Jerix, you put it onto the creep.
Liquid knows there's 4 up there. They saw it with the ward. Like, they have a really nice ward place here that saw it the entire way through, but they're going to smoke into all 2.
They're going to run into him. Oh, Global Silence goes off. They're going to go for Miracle. They chase him down with ease. Now they're going to look towards No Tail. Caught out by the Ice Shards. The Gyrocopter ultimate will land as well. Mega kill streak from a Tubba Man as they will now take control of this tier 2. Just doesn't stop. Liquid go from getting a Roshan, winning a fight, claiming objectives. They seem to be just a clean machine right now.
Yeah, and OG... The thing is, they haven't had options since they lost control of their jungle. Like, this game is kind of just hit a steady trajectory. Like, it sounds like we're overly praising Liquid but it's more just the fact that there's not much that OG can do in this type of position. Yeah. Like they're hemmed in. Their anti-mage is a hero that needs to eat up farm. He's not a space creator that you often see on Miracle. So space has to be created for him. When you lose control of the jungle, the Shadow Fiend loses all of his comeback mechanic. Then what ends up happening is you just continuously go for the 5-man split up, gain in gold lead. It's already 15k at just 16 minutes. It's like 1,000 gold per minute that they're getting up.
Absolutely absurd. It's going to go up even further as this tier 2 is about to fall. Liquid, they've taken all the outer objectives. They're still holding on to the Aegis for another 2 minutes at least. Do they think about going uphill yet, or is it just too early to even think about that?
It might be a little bit too early. You can push your lead to like 25k if you want at this rate. Like everybody can get completely slotted up, so it doesn't matter if the AM has a Battle Fury or not.
So they can have an Aghs on the Queen of Pain, rapidly pushing waves via Sonic Wave. There could be a significant item coming in for Jerix. He's got 1,700 gold. He's going to spot Miracle, force out the Blink, but they actually want to catch Fly. He already TP's out, though.
Yeah, they know they don't have enough to kill Miracle, even with... Maybe if they global there, but they won't. It's not up for another 20 seconds. And Fada, look at this, just continues to split up the map. Make sure that he's farming on his own, continuing to gain an experience. He's already gone over that crucial level 11 hump. That's where I believe it takes the longest, right, to level up?
Level 11 to level 12?
Yeah, that's the biggest bottleneck. But OG, this would be huge if they could get this kill.
Fada's going to be a toughie, though. They do have Global Silence. He's got 1,600 HP when he's on Strength Treads. He's going to pop out now, see a couple heroes. They're going to continue forwards here.
The response?
They know there's a weep, but there goes the Global Silence. Now Fada's actually just going to turn around, stealing the damage of No-Tail and going for crit. He's going to be able to get him until Shalgrave comes out. He's blocked out by the Fisher, but there's a zoning Gyrocopter ultimate that makes it so OG can't actually respond and chase down Fada. A good TP out there from No-Tail, but it was the only thing he could do at that point.
Yeah, nobody's nearby enough to catch out Fada, who decided to farm the wards. Now he's up to 2,800 gold.
Go Miracle, go! Global Silence is on cooldown, so
he's okay.
Just tries and push it for as much as he can, because he knows he has to make those kind of aggressive maneuvers.
He does. Even if it's like a 10% chance, like a non-zero chance that he dies there, you still have to do that just to create some space for your team. Open up the map a little bit for your Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, because you still don't have Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker either. Yeah. It's not just the SF's farm.
You notice that he's farming, he's no longer just farming like the jungle that he was before. He's oftentimes pushing up lanes. You wouldn't do that in a position if the game was still like within 10k, but when you're in this kind of position, you have to risk it. Otherwise, you're just going to lose through the passive gold loss.
The items keep flowing in. Matumba Man has a Helmet Dominator with the S and Y. They've got the Aghs complete on the Queen of Pain. Jerix, has he actually used his gold? There it is, a Blink Dagger for him. So now they've got some extra jump. Even if it's not the greatest disable in the world, it'll be enough to catch Moon here. Ron and Fauna, and that doesn't change a thing.
Somebody has to die, though, in that position, as odd as that sounds. You gotta find some vision out. If you don't have it through wards, you just have to kind of tank that kind of death.
It's not the Earthshaker dying in the enemy jungle, it's going to be the SF.
Yeah, exactly.
In his bottom lane or something.
He's got to be careful. They know that the Earthshaker's not there.
No more mana for Matumba Man. He's running a bit low. That Aegis will be running out soon, though.
They've made pretty good use of it, though. Even though they weren't able to go high ground quite yet, they know that their timing window still exists because the anti-mage doesn't have enough split farm presence. It's 20 minutes into the game, still doesn't have what he needs, and he's going to get run into. Maybe they could have killed him, though, with global?
Yeah, I thought maybe that Jerix was gonna like spook the Animage, and then Matumba Man coming in from behind, hitting his ultimate, maybe slowing down the Animage enough for Snowball and Walrus Punch. But...
yeah, they had global too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
You know what he was mid.
Miracle. Global Silence goes off. This time around, they do catch Miracle, and they're gonna get crit too. It looks like that sound's gonna last long enough. There's gonna be no Shalgrave. Moon. Well, he's going to be hitting that big nuke sometime soon. Matumba Man's going to throw off that ultimate. Moon's definitely dead. Maybe they can catch Fly, too, all the way underneath Tier 4 towers. OG are just being demolished. As No-Tail throws out the ultimate, it doesn't mean much, though. Matumba Man behind these Tier 4s. GG. 21 minutes in, 3-23. Liquid. Everyone was looking at as them being the underdogs of this matchup, but they start off Game 1 incredibly strong.
Yep.
then again, such a greedy lineup from OG there. There much more to say.
It's really hard to say other than that.
Like, we didn't pay bot lane, okay,